We are back with another update for Pan the Way. I absolutely love pan those eyeshadows, types of projects, and random projects as a whole. This is Pan the Way Update 3. But with the fun also comes challenges and changes, and we will get into that now. How is everybody? If you're new here, hi, how are you? Thanks for stopping by and welcome to the family. My name is Rose. I'm a girl boss on a no-buy who loves to save money and project pan. Today's video is my third update on my project that I created called Pan the Way, which is a pan those eyeshadows type of project. If you're wondering why I look the same as my last video, it is because I am still filming. I'm trying to do 2 videos in the same night. Hopefully my brain is able to still function to get this update updated and uploaded as well for you guys without too many of my words jumbling together. My 101 pans update that should be up and aired for you guys, I went ahead and explained that moving forward with both of my pan those eyeshadows projects that there's going to be a couple minor adjustments and changes, since I feel that I've been having some difficulties with a couple of my shades in this project, such as the bright blue shade called Punky from my Bright Lights palette, the shade Alter Ego from the 35H palette. I have a new rule that after 3 months of usage on any eyeshadow palettes that I pick to attempt to pan any type of eyeshadows in, after 3 months of use, if I feel that I have not successful at hitting pan, then is when I will start choosing new shadows and to try to be maybe better, more successful at panning. Just because I don't want to feel like I am forced to pan an eyeshadow that just isn't working out for me, or I just don't feel like I'm inspired by it, or if I'm having difficulties with the shadow, I don't want to feel like I have to force myself to pan it just for the sake of panning it. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. I've noticed so far that even though I do really enjoy and love my bright and beautiful colorful looks, that I feel I've been more successful at panning more neutral tone shadows. So with 101 pans, which I will have that listed in the cards for you guys if you want to see more in-depth explaining of why I have decided to do it this way, feel free to go check it out. With the neutral shades, I just feel like I've been more successful at on this project. However, I don't have a choice in picking my eyeshadows. It's 100% roulette style. What the objective of Pan the Way is you randomly select a total number, however many eyeshadow palettes that you want to pick, into a wheel of some sort, like Wheel Decide or Tiny Decisions. You spin the wheel and you pick a number of eyeshadow palettes that you want to try to pan, but you only can use one shadow per palette. And how you generate that shadow is, for example, as always, I use the Pinky Rose, but you would count the number of shades in the palette. So this has a total of 14, and you would enter the numbers 1 to 14 into a random number generator to pick the shadow to pan from that palette. So I have a total of 4 eyeshadow palettes in this project, and that is my Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette with the shade Punky that I've been trying to pan and have not been successful. And then the 35H palette from Morphe with the shade Alter Ego, which I have not been very successful at. And then on my last month's update, which will also be in the cards for you guys if you want to go check it out, I randomly drew these 2 new palettes. In the Savannah palette, which is a dupe for the Safari palette from Natasha Denona, it randomly selected this last shade, number 15, for me. And then also my Sweet Talk palette was randomly chosen the shade Work It. Let's go ahead and get into it. We'll go ahead and start with my Bright Lights Pinky Rose palette. The shade Punky was randomly chosen at the intro of this on 10/29 of 2019. I gotta look down at my notes, you guys, if you see me looking down. Like I said, this palette is going to be one of the ones that I'm going to randomly select a new palette, which I pre-recorded, and I will insert the footage to show you. In total, I've only managed to use the shade Punky 6 times, you guys, just because it is such a bright color. And I do realize that moving forward, even if it happens to choose another bright palette and another bright shade, then that's the chances that I'm willing to take, and I will give the shadow a chance. If I can't hit pan after 3 months or about 20 uses, whichever one comes first, then I will pick a new shadow, just because I want to make sure I'm enjoying the project as a whole. So since I've only used that 6 times and was not successful, and this has been in the project since the beginning of the project, I will go ahead and insert footage to show you the new palette that was randomly chosen, and then we will pick the shadow from the palette together. Which, as you can see, it ended up choosing my Bad Habit Aurora palette again. The reason I say again is because this was in my 101 pans already. I chose the shade Vibe for our 101 pans, and as you can see, there is a little peeping pan right there. I hit pan on this after only 4 uses because it was already had a nice dip in it. So I'm actually excited that it chose this palette because I use this a lot. I got this before my collection got to the monstrous number that it is now, and I really got a lot of enjoyment out of this palette. This is a dupe for the Prism palette from ABH. Let's go ahead and pick a new shadow to pan. I already have the numbers entered 1 to 14, and of course I don't know why it always goes to 49, but it does. So let's go ahead and pick a new shade right now. And it said number 2. Number 2 from the top left to right is the shade 1-2 Awakening right there. That is going to be the new shade for my first selection for Pan the Way. And it is a really pretty, just beautiful orange tone shade. I actually really enjoy the formula on that palette. It's been very pleasurable and I've enjoyed using it a lot. So I'm glad that it chose it. That way I'm able to get some more use out of it. Go ahead and talk about the 2 newest palettes that were chosen on my last month's update, starting with the Sweet Talk palette from ColourPop, and it rolled in the shade Work It, which is this warm tone orange shade right here. And actually that will probably pair really nicely with the other orange tone, even though it is dead of winter right now. I love to wear orange colors, orange tones in the summertime. They are just so beautiful. I've used the shade Work It so far since last month a total of 6 times. So I mean, it's okay, it's progress. But again, I just have a really hard time on focusing on certain shadows because I have such a large collection. I tend to branch out a lot, but I'm still going to continue to do both of my Pan Those Eyeshadows projects for now. I will make a mention at the end of this video about Pan the Way, but that's the shade Work It, and I've used that a total of 6 times, and in the project she stays. And then last month as well, the Savannah palette was chosen, and again it was the number 15 it chose, which was the last shade in the palette, which ended up being another neutral kind of warm tone, like almost like an orange undertone shade again. As you can see, I have 3 mattes for this project, so I'm excited about that. I don't know if I'm more successful at hitting pan on matte shades than shimmers, but the few pans of eyeshadows that I have hit have been mattes, if that makes sense. I've used the shade Savannah a total of 8 times so far, so that's actually not too bad to me. That's kind of good progress. I try to make sure to use it as a neutral color in my crease shade before starting off with basically any other kind of color. So 8 uses on that. Lastly was the 35H palette and this shade Alter Ego, which is this red tone shade right here. This has been in the project since the beginning, and I've used the shade Alter Ego a total of 8 times. But since it's been 3 months, this is going to my new rule of thumb that since it's been 3 months that it's been in the project and I was not successful, and I'm starting to feel I'm not even gonna lie, I've been uninspired by this one for some reason. I will insert the footage to show you again the new palette that was randomly chosen. It chose my BH Cosmetics Love in London palette. This was a giveaway prize that I won from Emma Battles' giveaway. Sweet girl. I won this in a giveaway, so this recently brought my inventory numbers up to where they are now, which is 125 eyeshadow palettes. I know, you guys, I don't want to talk about it right now. It's a really pretty palette. I've used it a couple times, and it's a beautiful, cool tone palette. It has 16 shadows in it, so let's go ahead and generate our shadow to pan out of this one. Okay, so I have 1 to 16 up. 2 is just from the last palette that we chose. So let's pick a shadow. Number 10. And number 10 is the shade Biscuit right here, because I count from top left to right. To pick your shadow is the shade Biscuit right here, which is kind of a darker taupey color shimmer shadow. So that's kind of nice. We have a shimmer. And there is the shade Biscuit, which is really pretty. Actually, it's gorgeous. It's like a rose toned, like taupe brown color. I actually have a brown shimmer shadow in my 101 pans, I want to say, that might pair really well with that. That is a gorgeous color though. My gosh, I love that. Even these together all look nice. I can create definitely a different kind of look with those 4 combined. Those are all 4 of my shadows for Pan the Way. What do you guys think? Moving forward, we shall see how successful I am. I just want to keep these projects interesting both for me and for you guys as well. I've noticed I'm not the greatest at hitting pan as fast and as successful as some other people are, which that is okay. We all pan differently. As long as I keep it fun and interesting, really that's all that matters to me. If you want to join in on Pan the Way, I would love to have you. I will have a sign up sheet down below in the description box for you guys. Please feel free to join in. All you have to do is put your name and email address on there and like an Instagram handle. If you do join Pan the Way, I am going to be announcing a winner at the end, which the end of it is October 31st of this year. I do apologize, I forgot to mention the dates on it. Whoever pans the most eyeshadows by Halloween of this year will win a prize of some sort. That brings me into what I was going to mention earlier, and that being once I finish getting my total eyeshadow palette count down, like the individual pans per palette broken down and dissected on my inventory spreadsheets, I'm going to then myself pull out of Pan the Way, just because it's a project that I created. And who would I be if I happen to win and hit the most eyeshadow palettes and win my own prize? That's just, I'm not going to do that. I want that to be something for you guys on having your chance to win this. And plus, once I do totally break down all of my eyeshadow pans in total, which I know it's going to be a large number, you guys, I won't no longer need to do this type of method of pan those eyeshadows. Let's go ahead and recap real quick all of the palettes that are in this project. That is going to be my Bad Habit Aurora palette with the shade Awakening right there. And we have the Sweet Talk palette, of course, with the shade Work It right there. And the Savannah palette again with the shade number 15 right here. And then lastly, we have the BH Cosmetics, the Love in London palette with the shade Biscuit right there. the 4 palettes that will now be in rotation for Pan the Way for the next 3 months. These two have 2 more months to go, and if I don't hit Pan or feel successful or uninspired, as when I will then choose 2 more palettes, but these will stay in for 3 months. I hope this doesn't disappoint you guys or let you down, but I think it'll keep it more interesting and fun this way, and just kind of keep it going and help me to cycle through the rest of my collection so it's not getting neglected as well. That is everything, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until my next video, everybody enjoy the rest of their day. Bye.